All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, sisters, you too. This is Pastor Dow. I often talk about the multi-ethnic destruction in America, in the USA, which is under Satan's authority. Media, multi-ethnic destruction in America. And I don't know. The scriptures teach us about be careful of the things you put before your eyes and things you allow into your ears. And yet we do not take heed to simple stuff like that. And the reason why we do not take heed to stuff like that, because we're all arrogant in some form or some way. We all think that we can resist evil simply because we say within our own self and our own wicked heart that we're good. Only come to find out when evil is presented to us, we get tempted. Thoughts continue to keep bombarding our minds and our conscience until sooner or later we yield, we submit. Because who has taught us in this wicked and perverse generation that we live in to be sober? Who has taught us how to really truly cast down these thoughts and these imaginations? Who has taught us about the communication that goes on in our head and our mind and in our spirit when something is presented before your eyes and something enter into your ears? Because your eye is a gate and your ears are a gate to your soul. Well, why am I talking like this? Well, anyway, let me get to this news article right here. I want to say it again. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. You need to be very careful about the things you allow before your eyes, because your spirit simply it cannot handle, a good spirit cannot handle all this stuff. Do not be arrogant and do not have the attitude that you can go tap dance with evil, listen to anything you want and present it to, especially the youth. You really can't do it. We finally have on record right here a news article, and I'm going to include the link below right here, of a former abortion clinic owner. And listen to her quote: "We pushed sex education on kids to create a market for abortion." Did y'all hear what I just said? And of course, how they do that? Well, they give you they pass out rubbers in elementary school, and they teach little girls and boys how to put them on. And they promote that this free sex, and and you don't need to abstain until you're married. Now, little girls, the truth is you need to abstain from sex until you're married. Little boys, you need to abstain from sex until you're married. I know mom and dad and a lot of people have never told you that. Do not bite the fruit of lies of this system. Get all jacked up because you have some crazy soul ties in you, because people have decided to go out here and have sex. And every time you have sex, you become one with that person, and then you wonder why later on in life, or if you just stop for a moment, look at all the adults that are 15 years your senior, teenagers, and how crazy and how schizophrenic they are in their mind. That's because they fragmented their soul. And I know I'm talking about a bunch of spiritual things here because I'm a deliverance minister. I talk about stuff like this all the time. But I'm trying to preserve you, the youth, from a lot of heartache, trouble, trials, tribulations, and problems that otherwise you would encounter, because you simply just don't understand what's going on whenever you go out here and you have this so-called free sex junk. Now, is there something wrong with sex? No, there's nothing wrong with sex as long as it's used within the confines in which it was created for. But to follow this Greek-Roman culture that we're living in, and just be perverse and lewd and just to go on and have it just crazy. But listen to these Gentiles. That's what I'm going to call them. Listen to these Goyams. Listen to how these people use sex education all for the purpose to make more monies, funds. I'm going to read a little bit of this article right here. Listen, going back to the article. Now listen. It's amazing though, but then you mamas and daddies who say that you love your children, I'm not convinced that you love your children. I really truly am. I'm not convinced until you start living the way that I'm preaching and teaching to you, especially if you are a believer. Now, if you're not a believer, have fun, live life the way you want it. It's your prerogative, it's your decision. But if you are an Israelite, you had better take heed to what I'm saying. If you have never listened, you better start listening now. But anyway, let's get to this article right here. Listen what it says right here. Former abortion clinic owner. We pushed sex education on kids to create a market for abortion. See, because your mind's unsuspecting. So look what it says. Washington, D.C. Live Action News. For 6 years, Carol Everett operated 4 abortion clinics in Texas. 4 of them. This woman did. Notice, this woman did. As reported by the Catholic Register, Everett earned a commission for every abortion in addition to a share of the fees charged by each clinic. She says she sold abortion and made big bucks off the cash cow of abortion, a new abortion clinic, she said, at an annual Rose Dinner for the National March for Life in Ottawa, would make enough money to pay for itself in a single month. That is a lot of murder of unborn children who sex education, this wicked society we live in, teach you that there's nothing more than tissue. That's all they are. But yet and still, John the Baptist leaped in his mother's womb. There was nothing more. I'm telling you. Anyway, let me go on here because I'm going to try to stick the course, all right? Because it's easy for me to go off. But I'm going to stick with the course. The clinic system to make the quick cash was quite simple. The abortionist would move from one room to the next, performing abortion after abortion, often without cleaning up between abortions. According to Everett, that is just foul and nasty. First of all, it's already defiled and nasty anyway. And many of you people do not know, especially you little girls, you do not know the psychological effect that it has on you going forward unless you are soulless when you murder and kill a baby. Yeah. You just don't. If the baby wasn't meant to be, nature in itself has a way of taking care of things. But for you to just go down here and have all this sex and then just get pumped out and they charge you thousands of dollars to kill and murder a baby, and then some of the things is just too horrific to describe the way that they even we're talking about late term abortion, where they stick a needle in the back of the baby's head and it's screaming and hollering and kicking his little feet up. Anyway, and what a sick culture in society today. Now we have mothers that don't even want their children. They just give them up. Don't want them. Anyway, let me go on. In addition, Everett said that the counselors at the clinic are more like telemarketers. They are trained to schedule abortions and use wording to eliminate a potential client's fears and objections concerning abortion. See, these are professional liars. And they're playing on your feelings that you don't understand, your emotions you do not understand. And I can't believe for the life of me why in the world I get out here and I holler and scream on the front line. I do it all the time. And yet and still, the Bible is true. Truth is perished in the land. Who wants to hear this? Who wants to hear this? Especially if you're in more. And Christians are some of the main ones that are running to these clinics, murdering and killing babies. The Bible said that this was going to take place too. It was going to take place. Look at this. Everett, who left the abortion industry after a Christian business counselor she hired led her to Christ. Also talked about how damaging government-funded sex education programs are. In her speech at a Rose Dinner, she took aim at the programs for stealing away the innate modesty of children. First of all, there's not a damn child in America that's modest in spirit, body, or soul. With this culture, you got to be kidding me. The immorality of this culture, the moral degradation of this culture, the spiritual bankruptcy of this culture, there's not a modest child in this country. As soon as they come out of the womb, these stupid mamas are putting holes in their ears, piercing them, painting their little fingernails, putting down makeup all over them and stuff. Modest? Are you? Man, unbelievable. Anyway. Let me go back to this one statement. Let me see. At a rose dinner, she took aim at the programs for stealing away the innate modesty of children and creating a rift between children and their parents. See, these are professionals to create a rift between children and their parents. And what is the spirit of Elijah? The spirit of Elijah is to turn the hearts of the father back to the children. Some of you fathers don't give a damn about your children. Oh, you don't mind like a bunch of dang dogs going out here making them, but you will not be responsible for them. You will not provide for them. You will not protect them. You will not guard them. All you have is a bunch of words, and all you live life for is your sorry, wicked, foul lust. That's it. You don't care nothing about having children. You don't care nothing. It's just a sad, sad thing. Anyway, but they do this to create a rift between children because it's easy to affect children's minds, especially if they have not been reared and raised right. That's why I tell you one of the most dangerous things you can do is turn around and send your child to public school, because they have your child for 8 hours a day plus. And then the influence of all these other wicked children that have no morals and values that they're learning at home. They're not being taught the commandments. They're not being taught the principles and the teachings of morality according to the Israelite way. And don't tell me Christianity is morality. Christianity is one of the most perverted religions that there is on the face of planet Earth. So don't give me that mess and garbage, because I used to be a Christian. So therefore I can tell you better how to be one than anybody can, and how they do. And these mega churches, boy, do they have y'all jacked up. But the ideal is to create a rift, because you know, let me paint a picture for you. All right, let me paint a picture for you. Okay, let's say your teenage daughter or your teenage son want to do something. All right, and then, you know, the parents, they have, if they are moral parents, they have laws, they have rules. They know you ain't either. The parents become the enemy. The children are automatically going to gravitate to those who give them a perceived form of freedom. Now, they're not going to tell them how insane they're going to be acting later on in life. They're not going to tell them the diseases that their body is going to end up taking on. They're not going to tell them about the depression that they're going to have to deal with because of choices and decisions they made in their youth when their mind was stupid as hell. They ain't going to tell you that. They ain't going to tell you. They're going to feed your lust. That's what they're going to do. And then they're going to turn you against your mama and your daddy. If your mother and father believes in the commandments and being moral people, because even the definition of morality is up for grabs. Now, we don't even, I mean, how in the world do you define morality when we live in a generation when everybody's right in their own eyes? It's utterly amazing. And so they pit the children against the parents. And now we've gotten to the place and point, not only are they police in the schools, patrolling even elementary schools, we've gotten to the place and point now, because you people don't understand that you have entered into a third-party contractual agreement with the state when you go get your marriage license. So, and you are nothing but babysitters. You think in your mind that they're your children. That's why when you go to that system and you try to press your rights, the system don't give a damn. Guidance counselors know that your children do not belong to you. And yet and still they act like that they're personally there for your good. They're going to counsel you for your good. No, they're counseling you because they are agents for the states themselves. And so they're going to protect the interests of the state because that's where they get paid from. That's where they get the moolah and the money from. They're not going to tell you parents the truth. That you are not, all you are is just a glorified babysitter. That's all. You know why? Because you entered into a third-party contractual agreement when you went and got a marriage license, and then you passed your child through the seed of Molech when you went and got a birth certificate. But the state and the industry, and they're not going to tell you this, and your parents, they're just as dumb and stupid. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know whatsoever at all. So many of you, whether you like it or not, I mean, think about it. Let's say if you so much are in control of your life, you married to a piece of crap, be it a man or woman, try to go get a divorce, just like in the Old Testament. You know, if you could get a divorce, and if you got a divorce in the Old Testament, all you do is put a bill of divorce in their hand. That's showing you your level of authority. But you try to go get a divorce, and you go say, oh, wife, I divorce you, husband, I divorce you because of this, and this. It ain't going to fly. You know why? Because it can only be dissolved by your authority, who you submitted to, Caesar. You went to Caesar to get license, permissions to do something otherwise, which would be unlawful if you didn't even do it. You sought their authority. You sought out Caesar's authority. And so guess what? You're going to do the same thing. Guess what? You can't get a divorce without it. So you have to go back to Caesar. And he is the one who's going to determine, because you're too inept to determine if you can or not. Hey, the truth is, everyone out there that has been married under a marriage license by any state, you have entered into, that's what you're into, serial polygamy. That's what you've entered into, because you're in bed with the state and you can't do nothing without the state, and the children own your children whether you like it or not. And I dare you to check behind me to see if I'm telling the truth or not. I dare you to do it. Maybe if you did, I guarantee your preachers are not telling you this. Your pastors, I guarantee your churches are not telling you this. Go ask your pastor. See what he says. Go ask him. See what they say. They've got you so jacked up in your mind, you don't know where you coming or going today. So you're in serial polygamy, whether you like it or not. And you can't even dissolve the resolution of that marriage when you're married to a piece of crap and they're not doing what they're supposed to unless you get permission from the actual state that you went and got the license from. And you go to school with the rest of these witches out here who know all these things that they're not telling you about the children. And then that's my child. Well, you find out how powerless you are with your child. If it's your child, go take them out of public school and see what happens. Just go try it. Just you ain't gonna take them. They're not gonna go to public school anymore. You're gonna homeschool them. You're gonna teach them and train them up the way you want to and see what happens. If you did that in the first place, you learn how to do it. You could preserve their innocent little minds. But you get a system that's going to throw sin, debauchery, and everything else from them, they're going to bite off on it because they want to do what the in crowd does. They want to do what the influence. Very few children have the type of spirit in them. Very few adults have the type of spirit in them to where they resist even. They're not going to run with the in crowd. You know, when I was a little boy growing up, I grew up in the hood, and people got killed every week. And then when as I got older, there was drugs everywhere. I saw people snorting cocaine almost on a weekly basis. I saw them smoking marijuana on a daily basis. There was booze, there was alcohol. I mean, I was around this every single day of my life as a child growing up. Most of the children succumbed to it. They would often ask me, "You want some of this, Chucky?" This is good stuff, man. Whoa. Man, I feel good. You know, I would look at them. I go, "No, man, go ahead, have at it. I don't want none of that." And I didn't take it, and I'm glad that I didn't. And I'm gonna tell you now, don't do drugs, children. Do not do drugs, because you may be having fun now, but you're crazy as hell by the time you get to your 30s and 40s and 50s. You actually have a mindset to where you think you're right in your chaotic insanity, and you're not firing on all cylinders because you have fried your head in many, many areas and stuff. And I'm telling you, I watch it all the time. These crazy looks that these people who went out and used to do drugs, man, you look at them, you can't tell if they're there or not. They don't know if they're coming or going. You sit and say something to them, talk to them, they look at you like this. I'm telling you, don't do drugs. I'm telling you. Let me get on back with this anyway. She says that the program is aimed to teach children that talking to their parents about sex is uncomfortable, and then they offer to be the people the children turn to for support. She says that girls are then provided with low dose birth control, which is in effect, if not taken at the same time each and every day, which is close to impossible for any teenager when the girls get pregnant. They then turn to abortion clinics, she says. Once Everett admitted to herself that she was a baby killing and woman killing woman. She finally noticed the harm she and her abortion clinics were doing for a quick buck. For the first time, she took notice of the girls sitting in the corner crying at the clinic. She saw how her own abortion had led down this path of pain. She turned away from the industry and started a foundation to help women and girls facing crisis pregnancy. Everett is credited to closing of 28 abortion clinics in Texas to God. She believes that the new legislation will lead to more closings and save even more lives without the money from abortions. These clinics that claim to exist to help women will close. Something the pro-lifers look forward to. But I tell you what, it's insanity. It really truly is insanity. Because, they don't have any discipline. Grown-ups don't have any discipline. You're going to give little girls, all right, at 7 o'clock every day, you need to take this abortion pill. Man, they're going to wait 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, skip a day or two, then they end up pregnant because they've been conditioned to have all this free sex. I mean, you got people out here that the system is not doing nothing about. They're teaching boys and girls how to have sex in public schools and how to kiss and how to do other things that I'm not even going to mention on this video because you have virgin ears. But hey, and then I expect to get the kickback and the resistance that I get because I support morality. I support, the scriptures. I do. I support. I've lived by these and found out that the Bible is right and somebody's wrong, and I know who's wrong. The whole world is wrong and the Bible's right, and it's right when you apply the knowledge rightfully. But hey, what can you say? What can you say? I know that the majority of people are going to kick and fight against this because of their wicked, deceived hearts. But hey, children, if you get a chance to listen to this, I don't care what the system says, your mom and daddy says, don't have sex until you get married. Keep yourself. And stay away from drugs. Read this Bible. If your mom and dad ain't going to teach it, read it for yourself and listen to Pastor Dow so you can hear the truth and the truth straight way. Y'all make sure this video gets around because a lot of people don't know a lot of things that I just got finished saying because this video is loaded. How long I been? I had 22 going on 23 minutes. Wow. Man, that went by fast. Hey, man, I'm going to include an article below. You want to go check it out and stuff, but it's a sad situation. And why is it that you women just simply, why you always have to be in a position where you want to affect change and have an influence on everybody? And this woman, she looks like a used up Goodyear Uniroyal car tire. You can see the pain that's on her life, but I guarantee you she got a mansion though. I guarantee she got a mansion from all them babies she done killed. You got a lot of blood on your hands, you wicked devil. So you going to make some restitution and stuff. You got a lot to do. You got to go and get in that bank account and go find all these little girls that you screwed up their lives. Since you're watching these little children crying. Oh man, oh boy, I don't even want. Oh, help me. I understand that people make mistakes in life based on choices and decisions. We make wrong choices and decisions and stuff, which very few people are there to actually provide you some type of environment to where they can be positive counsels for you. I'm not going to sit and condemn you little girls, unsuspecting minds who had parents didn't give a crap, so-called mentors or people didn't give a crap of these witches in schools. Now, you ever notice that the majority of public schools are full of witches? Teachers, women teachers look like witches. You don't know what they are. And you send your child to these people, you don't know what they believe. You don't know what they are. You don't know what they do. Man. And I'm telling you, anyway, I'm going all day long. Y'all have a good day. Just check out the video.